Just a point on the everard ongoing situation. I take offence somewhat to the idea that all men, no matter what, have to undergo some form of education on what it is to not want to be violent towards women, because the idea is that it's inbuilt. Men are born like this, and there's now an epidemic being conflated with what is in effect a textbook murder investigation, really. Doesn't matter how you want to spin it, that's what it is. She was a beautiful young woman who was killed by a policeman. He's a scumbag, there's no denying that. But the fact is, you're talking about less than 0.03% of the population who are likely to go out and kill someone in cold blood. What I'm saying is not excusing it. What I'm saying is there is not some kind of warped murder culture against women in this country. There isn't. It's just not there, right? I'm interested to see, where was this enthusiasm 3 years ago when we had 400 young women trafficked and raped in Bradford and Rotherham by Asian gangs? This idealistic feminist wave, starting everything with, well, the problem with Western culture, as though there's a better one, you know? Try being gay in Syria and being thrown off a roof. This culture may not be perfect, but trust me, it's the best version of one that we have. Now, I saw the interview with the woman, I forgot her name, but I will include it, who was kettled and arrested by police in London over the weekend in the protest for Sarah Everard. Now, her main point of contention was that there is no way someone should be expected in this day and age to go out and look both ways when they're walking down a dark alley. They should not have to worry about wearing headphones or anything like that so they can hear who's going by. Now I do. I'm 6'3", and on a dark night I still will turn the volume down or look both ways. I never like to lean too hard into the political side of things, you know, just because it affects everything anyway, right? There's no point dragging up how politics affects this, and especially the media, how they portray it. However, the media in this instance has been responsible in essentially matching these two ideas together. The idea of that this crime wave epidemic, violence against women, is now this global major issue sparked from what is essentially a murder investigation, right? Let's keep that in mind. Some of these precautions, they are perfectly legitimate reasons that you would expect, you know, you go out at night, try and take care. Now, the elephant in the room is that, of course, a lot more men are violently assaulted than women. Why? Because men are more likely to fight back against muggers, men are more likely to be stabbed, go to prison, less likely to go to university, things like that. This isn't some black and white, you know, march against men. Now, in my mind, there are certain factors that, for instance, you cannot teach, right? This idea of trying to teach young men to be respectful and to not harm women, not to rape. You can't teach someone not to rape, okay? If that is inside you, and that is something that your brain is wired to do, there is no amount of education that will stop you from doing that, because, you know, it's like being a paedophile, right? You can't come back from that. If that is in your mind to do it, that's why these people are sociopaths. That's why they have a disconnect between the emotion of the situation and what's going on. If those alarms don't start ringing in your head when she's telling you to stop and she's screaming and crying, education won't help solve that. Should men be more mindful? Should men have a better understanding of what women go through sometimes? Yeah, that helps everyone, I think. But it is not this epidemic that it is being painted as. Okay?